That tub may look rich, creamy, and premium, but the small print could reveal that it is not actually sold as ice cream at all. Some frozen desserts use less cream and rely more on vegetable oils, sweeteners, stabilizers, gums, and added air to create the texture shoppers expect. Today, we are examining 17 popular frozen dessert brands that deserve a much closer look, and 8 better options that may offer simpler ingredients, richer flavor, and stronger value for your money. Stay until the end, because one tiny phrase on the package can quickly reveal whether you are buying real ice cream, or a frozen dessert made under a very different standard. Before we begin, this is not a claim that every product on this list is dangerous, illegal, or unsafe to eat. We are simply comparing what each brand offers by looking at product classification, milk and cream content, added sugar, oils and stabilizers, serving size, price, and overall value. Recipes and labels can change over time, so always check the exact flavor and container available in your local store before making a purchase. Number 17, Great Value. Great Value is one of the cheapest options in the freezer aisle, making it appealing to shoppers who are trying to stretch their grocery budget. However, in some flavors, that low price comes with a more heavily formulated recipe and texture. The ingredient list may include several sweeteners, emulsifiers, and stabilizers designed to keep the product smooth, sweet, and scoopable. Those ingredients are not automatically unsafe, but they can change how rich, dense, and genuinely creamy the dessert feels in each spoonful. A low price can still be useful, especially for a large household. Just compare the cream content, added sugar, density, and overall value before assuming the lowest price is the best deal. Number 16, Breyers. The next label proves why the wording on the front matters just as much as the brand name. Breyers has built a long-standing image around simple ingredients and traditional ice cream. But shoppers need to check the exact wording on the container, because not every Breyers product is labeled the same way. Some flavors are sold as frozen dairy dessert rather than ice cream. That does not automatically make them poor products, but it means they are made under a different product standard and may rely more heavily on stabilizers or other texture-building ingredients. The takeaway is simple: do not judge the entire brand by one familiar logo. Read the label on the specific flavor you are buying. Number 15, Dryers or Eddies. Dryers, also sold as Eddies in certain regions, is another familiar brand with a long history in the freezer aisle. However, some products use lower-fat or slow-churned formulas that may require extra ingredients to preserve sweetness, smoothness, and scoopable texture. A reduced-fat label can sound appealing, but removing fat naturally changes how a frozen dessert tastes, melts, and feels. To compensate, manufacturers may add sweeteners, stabilizers, or other texture-building ingredients. Before choosing a slow-churned variety, compare its ingredient list and nutrition panel with the regular version. Lower fat does not always mean a simpler formula or better overall value. Number 14, Favorite Day. Favorite Day is Target's store brand, and its clean, modern packaging can make the product appear more premium than many competing budget options. However, the appearance of the container does not tell you how the dessert is actually formulated. Some varieties may have an airy texture and rely on modified starches, emulsifiers, or stabilizers to create smoothness. The amount of cookie dough, chocolate pieces, or other mix-ins may also vary from one flavor to another. The takeaway is simple: attractive design does not guarantee a premium formula. Check the ingredient list, serving size, and amount of mix-ins before deciding whether the price offers real value. Number 13, Good Humor. Good humor is closely connected with nostalgia, summer treats, and familiar ice cream truck favorites. Yet many of its bars are more complicated than their simple appearance may suggest. Depending on the product, the formula may include non-fat milk, vegetable oils, syrups, colors, flavorings, and stabilizers. The coating around the bar may also be made with oils and flavoring rather than the ingredients shoppers naturally associate with traditional chocolate or ice cream. Rather than judging the product by the picture on the wrapper, read the coating and filling ingredients separately. Not every frozen bar is formulated like traditional ice cream. Number 12. Blue Ribbon Classics. Blue Ribbon Classics is positioned as an affordable choice for families who want a larger amount of frozen dessert at a lower price. However, some varieties are classified as frozen dairy desserts rather than ice cream. Their ingredient lists may include corn syrup, vegetable oils, stabilizers, and other ingredients used to create sweetness, body, and a scoopable texture. That does not automatically make the product unsafe, but it may not deliver the rich, cream-forward experience many shoppers expect from ice cream. Compare the exact classification and ingredient list before assuming the large container is the best bargain. Number 11. Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's differs from several brands on this list because many of its products do begin with a genuine ice cream base. The concern is not whether it qualifies as ice cream, but how much sugar and how many rich mix-ins can appear in certain flavors. Some varieties combine ice cream with cookie dough, caramel, brownies, syrups, chocolate pieces, or several forms of added sugar. That combination can make even a modest-looking bowl much richer and heavier than expected. Ben & Jerry's may be genuine ice cream, but portion size still matters. The dense texture, high sugar level, and generous mix-ins make it easy to consume far more than a standard serving. That tub may look rich, creamy, and premium, but the small print could reveal that it is not actually sold as ice cream at all. Some frozen desserts use less cream and rely more on vegetable oils, sweeteners, stabilizers, gums, and added air to create the texture shoppers expect. Number 10. Blue Bunny. From this point forward, the formulas become even more varied, so checking each individual flavor becomes essential. Blue Bunny offers a wide range of tubs, cones, bars, and frozen treats, but its formulas can vary significantly from one product to another. Some flavors may contain artificial colors, stabilizing gums, modified starches, oils, and several types of sweeteners. These ingredients can help maintain color, texture, and shelf stability, but they may also create a formula that is more complex than shoppers expect. Do not judge the entire brand by one container. Check each flavor individually, because a simple vanilla product may have a very different ingredient list from a heavily mixed or coated dessert. Number 9. Klondike. Klondike bars are packaged to feel rich and indulgent, with a creamy center wrapped in a thick chocolate-style coating. However, some products may be labeled as frozen dairy desserts rather than traditional ice cream. Depending on the variety, the formula may include non-fat milk, coconut or other vegetable oils, syrups, emulsifiers, and several stabilizing gums. The coating may also rely on oils to create its familiar snap and texture. That premium appearance does not automatically guarantee a simple, cream-based recipe. Check both the frozen center and coating ingredients before deciding whether the price matches the quality. Number 8. Turkey Hill. Turkey Hill sells several types of frozen products, and not every container follows exactly the same standard. Some packages may say ice cream, while others may be labeled light ice cream or frozen dairy dessert. Those terms matter because they can signal differences in milk fat, texture, sweeteners, and stabilizing ingredients. Before buying, look closely at the exact wording near the flavor name. The brand may be familiar, but the classification can change from one variety to another. Number 7. Riches. Riches frozen desserts are commonly found in schools, cafeterias, food service settings, and individually packaged snack selections. Depending on the item, the formula may contain added sugar, vegetable oils, syrups, emulsifiers, and stabilizers designed to create a consistent texture and withstand large-scale storage and distribution. That does not automatically make the product unsafe, but the portion size still deserves careful attention. A small cup, cone, or bar may contain more added sugar than its size suggests, especially when coatings, cookies, or flavored fillings are included. Number 6. Friendly's. Friendly's is a familiar name associated with family restaurants, generous sundaes, and traditional ice cream shops. However, the products sold in supermarkets today may use formulas that differ from what longtime customers remember. Some flavors may contain corn syrup, stabilizing gums, emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and complex combinations of mix-ins. The ingredient list can become especially long in varieties containing cookies, caramel, candy pieces, or sauces. The restaurant name creates instant familiarity, but shoppers should still evaluate the current retail product on its own merits. Check the exact flavor, classification, added sugar, and ingredient list before putting it in your cart. Number 5. Blue Bell. Blue Bell has built exceptionally strong regional loyalty, especially among shoppers who value its rich texture, familiar flavors, and traditional image. For many fans, it is more than just a dessert, it is a household favorite. However, that rich taste can also come with a considerable amount of added sugar and saturated fat in certain varieties. Flavors loaded with cookies, chocolate, caramel, or nuts may be especially dense, making portion size more important than the container suggests. Blue Bell may deliver the indulgent experience many shoppers enjoy, but it is still worth checking the serving size, added sugar, and saturated fat before deciding how often it belongs in your freezer. Number 4. Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen is famous for cones, sundaes, and blizzards, but its signature soft serve is not the same as traditional hard ice cream. Soft serve typically contains less milk fat than products sold under the standard ice cream classification. That lower fat formula helps create the light, smooth texture customers expect, but it may also rely on additional sweeteners, emulsifiers, or stabilizers. This does not necessarily mean Dairy Queen is hiding what it sells. The important point is to understand what you are paying for rather than assuming every frozen cone is made like traditional ice cream. Number 3. Magnum. Magnum presents itself as a luxury frozen dessert, combining polished packaging, a rich center, and a thick chocolate-style shell. But the ingredient list can be more complicated than the premium image suggests. Depending on the variety, one bar may contain considerable saturated fat, added sugar, vegetable oils, emulsifiers, and other ingredients used to create its smooth texture and firm coating. Magnum is designed as an indulgence, not an everyday health food. Still, the premium price makes it reasonable to ask whether the ingredients and portion size truly justify that luxury branding. Number 2. Baskin-Robbins. Baskin-Robbins is known for its variety, colorful flavors, and generous mix-ins. However, the more elaborate the flavor becomes, the more complicated the formula may be. Some products may contain syrups, artificial colors, flavorings, candy pieces, cookie chunks, sauces, and multiple forms of added sugar. A simple vanilla scoop can be very different from a heavily mixed dessert covered with toppings. The wide selection is part of the appeal, but shoppers should compare the ingredient list, serving size, and sugar content rather than assuming every flavor offers the same value. Number 1. Halo Top. Halo Top became popular by placing a strikingly low calorie count prominently on the front of each container. That promise can make the product appear to be a simpler or healthier alternative, but lower calories often come with meaningful trade-offs. The formula may use sugar substitutes, less fat, added fiber, stabilizers, and more incorporated air to reduce the calorie count while maintaining sweetness and volume. Some sugar alcohols may also cause bloating, cramping, or digestive discomfort for certain people, especially when a large portion is eaten at once. A lower calorie number does not automatically mean a simpler, richer, or more satisfying product. The full ingredient list, portion size, texture, and how your body responds still matter. Those 17 products are not automatically unsafe, but many use formulas, ingredient combinations, or product classifications that may not match what shoppers picture when they hear the words rich, creamy ice cream. Now, let's turn to 8 better options that come closer to delivering the cream-forward texture, clearer ingredients, and overall quality many people expect from real ice cream. Better option 8, Van Leeuwen. Now the list shifts from products to question carefully toward options that more closely deliver a traditional ice cream experience. Van Leeuwen stands out for its cream-forward approach and relatively short ingredient lists across many classic flavors. Instead of relying heavily on long combinations of stabilizers and sweeteners, the simpler varieties focus more clearly on milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks, and flavoring ingredients. It remains an indulgent dessert, but shoppers who prefer a richer texture and a more recognizable formula may find it easier to understand exactly what they are paying for. Better option 7, Graters. Graters is well known for its dense texture and traditional French pot production method. This process incorporates less air than many mass-produced ice creams, creating a heavier, richer scoop that melts more slowly and feels more substantial. That density can make the product more satisfying in a smaller serving, although it also comes at a higher price than many supermarket brands. Better option 6, Salt and Straw. Salt and Straw takes a chef-inspired approach, combining unusual flavors with carefully developed small-batch recipes. The appeal is not simply that the ingredients are premium, each flavor is designed with a clear purpose rather than built around a generic base and artificial tasting mix-ins. It is an expensive option, but shoppers are paying for originality, texture, and deliberate formulation. Better option 5, Tillamook. Tillamook is one of the stronger everyday options because it is widely available, dairy-focused, and generally more affordable than most premium brands. Its classic flavors can offer a rich, creamy experience without moving into the highest price range. However, heavily mixed varieties containing cookies, caramel, candy, or sauces may have much longer ingredient lists. For the clearest formula, compare a simple flavor such as vanilla or chocolate with the more elaborate options before buying. Better option 4, Strauss Family Creamery. Strauss Family Creamery appeals to shoppers who value organic dairy alongside simple, classic recipes. Many of its traditional flavors focus on familiar ingredients such as cream, milk, sugar, egg yolks, and natural flavoring. The result is a rich, dairy-forward texture that does not rely heavily on overly complicated formulas. It is a premium option, but the ingredient list is generally easy to understand. Better option 3, Häagen-Dazs Classics. Häagen-Dazs Classics are known for remarkably short ingredient lists, especially in simple flavors such as vanilla. A basic recipe may include cream, milk, sugar, egg yolks, and vanilla. That simplicity allows the dairy and flavoring ingredients to do most of the work, creating a dense texture without relying on a long list of gums or stabilizers. It usually costs more per ounce, but shoppers are often paying for a richer formula and fewer added ingredients. Better option 2, Talenti. Talenti is gelato rather than traditional American-style ice cream. Gelato is generally made with less incorporated air, giving it a denser texture and more concentrated flavor. That said, not every Talenti variety has a short or simple ingredient list. Flavors with cookies, caramel, candy pieces, or layered sauces may contain more sweeteners, stabilizers, and mix-ins. The best approach is to compare each jar individually instead of judging the entire brand by a single flavor. Better option 1, Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream stands out through premium ingredients, original flavor combinations, and carefully developed recipes. The brand focuses on creating distinctive textures and flavors rather than simply repeating the same familiar formulas found throughout the freezer aisle. Each option is designed to feel intentional, from the dairy base through the mix-ins and final finishing ingredients. Jenny's is expensive, so it may not suit every budget. But shoppers who pay the premium are generally paying for distinctive flavor and deliberate formulation, not just familiar branding. That tub may look rich, creamy, and premium, but the small print could reveal that it is not actually sold as ice cream at all. Some frozen desserts use less cream and rely more on vegetable oils, sweeteners, stabilizers, gums, and added air to create the texture shoppers expect. Which ice cream brand is currently in your freezer, and does the label say ice cream, gelato, light ice cream, or frozen dairy dessert? Drop the brand name in the comments. Subscribe to Quick Frugal and turn on notifications for more honest grocery comparisons, label breakdowns, and smarter ways to spend your money. Shop smarter, waste less, and save more.